Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just a few moments we will be going live with Meach's Musings, featuring the founder of the Jeff Meacham Network, yes, Jeff Meacham. As a reminder, the content contained within this stream is not suitable for all ages. Viewer discretion is advised, but as often, generally ignored. If you wish to have something discussed by good old JM, please feel free to super chat using the function on your YouTube screen. Thank you. We hope you enjoy your experience today with good old JM as we go live with Meach's Musings at the top of the hour.
Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Gary Hebert, the man, the myth, the legend. I was amazed, and I was looking to become a better skater myself, and I wanted to be like Gary.
When you look at a guy like this, he's one of the most talented people in his profession. He's been given gifts by God.
It can get frustrating at times when you're trying things that maybe don't come as quickly to you as other things. And, you never really felt that sense of frustration with Gary. It was always about improvement and positive reinforcement.
Was it really the end? Was that head injury really the end? God has called Gary to continue to be a blessing to others and to be a passionate example.
My name is Gary Hebert, and this is the World Academy of Hockey, otherwise known as the Inside Edge.
I would recommend anybody that have a chance to come to his hockey school. I think it'd be well worth it. It'd be rewarding to all the kids and anyone he coaches, from whether it's an adult, a professional player, to a little kid like a Mike or a Squirt.
Gary, from day one, has been instrumental to my hockey career. I started out as a potential Division III player, and Gary brought me single-handedly through high school and into a top Division I prospect. I owe it all to Gary, the biggest legend on and off ice there's ever been.
Listen, watch, learn, be confident, and have faith. Those are the answers I was brought to. Yet, I only now am really learning how truly important those 5 things are.
Through preparation, through appropriate thoughtfulness and thinking, we can learn to untie the typical knots between our ears that drive us into underachievement and underperformance. And lo and behold, we can learn, I think, to fulfill our God-given potential.
Gary has the innate ability to make people not only better players, but better people. The life lessons they learn from Gary are incredible.
You can always remember leaving that rink knowing as a player I got better or I had something to improve on to get better. And I think that's what you excelled on as a coach, is giving us the knowledge to know what we needed to do to get better.
There's coaches who know the game, but can you communicate and create passion in your kids and in your players? And Gary's able to do that.
Gary's got great knowledge and the great hands, but more importantly, his ability to connect with people and care for them. His communication skills, to me, really stand out and separate him, and that's why he's one of the best, in the world.
Gary's a legend. He's a special man.
Hello, I'm John Waters, and I'm supposed to announce there is no smoking in this theater, which I think is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard of in my life. How can anyone sit through a length of a film, and especially a European film, and not have a cigarette? But don't you wish you had one right now? And I'm telling you that smoke anyway. It gives ushers jobs, and if people didn't smoke, there would be no employment for the youth of today. So once again, no smoking in this theater.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you throughout the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media. I am, of course, Jeff Meacham. You know that. That's why you're here. Happy July. It is finally July 1st. We're into the second half of the year. Can't believe that's a real thing, but it is. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody enjoyed. Oh, God, here we go with this cough again. Forbidden Door. I hope everybody enjoys today's presentation. It's probably going to be a little briefer than I was hoping, and that's just because this cough is just being a sumbitch. So forgive me if I cut it a little shorter than usual today, but hopefully I can find a way to get my hands on the throat lozenge. I know they're at least over there somewhere. Just don't see them right now. But it is July 1st. We are in the second half of the year. I apparently did not communicate the day switch properly to young Mr. Caldwell. So he is going to be on tomorrow, as he is apparently supposed to be on Tuesdays. We are still dealing with the feedback from the Spark with him, so we will see how that plays out. It's my understanding that he's going to be on Mondays. I'm going to be on Tuesdays for July. Today just didn't happen. So he was under the impression he was doing show prep today, so that's what we went with. But you can, as ever, catch Stat Boy Sports Bar here on the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media, specifically the Costigan Studios and my own channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, with weekly live episodes and his sports watch-along specials. We're just not sure when we're going to get them narrowed down yet, folks. So we're working on it, but we do not have the knowledge as of now. So, interesting weekend across the wrestling world. Of course, Forbidden Door was just yesterday. And during the course of that show, we got two more shows kind of finalized or etched in stone, if you will. They'll be returning to Arthur Ashe Stadium at the end of September for Dynamite and Collision Grand Slam. The 25th and 28th, we will have watch-along coverage of both of those shows. But the really big announcement, at least for me, is that Wrestle Dynasty will be on January 5th from the Tokyo Dome, featuring stars from CMLL, AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, and Stardom. This is one of those shows that makes us here within the multiverse believe that they're finally starting to realize this collaboration between NXT and TNA. If I may. Thank you, sir. This collaboration between NXT and TNA is not anything to scoff at this point, because they've got no less than 5 promotions teaming up at Wrestle Dynasty to present a show. So that's huge for AEW and the greater wrestling world, because at this point, all the stuff we cover is now partnered up with somebody else. NXT/WWE with TNA, and then AEW/ Ring of Honor, New Japan, and CMLL, and excuse me, and I mentioned Stardom, all working together in collaboration for Wrestle Dynasty coming up on January 5th, July 5th. That's this weekend. I'll figure it out. DJ Mutt King, buddy Zach here says, good evening, Brother Meach. Thoughts on the working relationships between these two companies? What do you want to see as the end game? I would like to see them all come together, personally. I really would. I would love to see all these companies come forward, do their thing, and find a way to maintain the sustainability of the industry. Because there was a lot of fear within wrestling fandom and even some of the insiders that when WCW and ECW went out of business, that the monopoly that WWF had created for themselves would tank the business. Sorry, I had to communicate with the kiddo. Anyway, so I am optimistic as ever for the future of the industry, but I pointed this out, I think either last night during Forbidden Door or during open mic night. We have to, somebody within AEW has to find a way to keep Tony Khan and his crazy coming out in public on Twitter or anywhere else, because if he just leaves the running of the company to, or the socials, I should say, to other people, it'll be all right, because then he can stop making himself and his company look foolish as a result of that. So yeah, I'm here for it. If the TNA WWE relationship persists and grows, they may call their joint event Starrcade, but we'll see. Happy birthday out there to Chris LeClair's mom, Grace. Very cool to see that. Happy birthday, Mama LeClaire. Hope you're having a great day. If you happen to be hearing this, Marshall's here. Good to see Marshall. WWE would be happy. Well, AEW, but well, yeah. I mean, that's basically what I mean without trying to sound derogatory or like an ass. Is that Tony Khan has to find a way to level up from fanboy with money to actual legitimate company head, because that's what he is right now, is a fanboy with money. And that's not intentionally derogatory. It's just, it would be the same thing if I had all that money and was booking a wrestling. It's the exact same thing. He has to find a way to, as you said, Matthew, put his big boy pants on. And yes, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, back on AEW television last night. So excited to see Britt. I very rarely try to be one of those I told you so folks, but I did, because I saw Britt on Thursday night when she was part of the Nikki and Bree show live experience out here in Hollywood, and she is in the shape of her life. And you saw her in her wrestling gear emerge through the curtain last night. So very excited. She did tell Lexi King that she will be giving us the full story this Wednesday on Dynamite. Of course, we'll be having a coverage of that show. It's titled Beach Break because it's in the world-famous beach town of Chicago, Illinois. And we'll be live with that, of course, Wednesday night, right after the Great Cherry Show. So stay tuned for our coverage of that. We'll get to hear from the good doctor coming up on Wednesday. It will be a great match with Mercedes. I feel it will be, and I don't think it's going to be a clash of egos. I think people are overstating Mercedes Monet's inflated ego. It's my opinion, but that's how I feel. I don't think it's as pronounced as it's being made out to be. And to JJ's point, Mercedes did call her out during the scrum last night. So all roads seem to lead to Wembley Stadium for those two. Shane McMahon being brought up in the conversation. Of course, it looks like Shane and Mercedes were talking at the airport, and of course, the rumor mill is a moving. You know, will Shane McMahon arrive and appear in AEW? Will it be at Wembley? Will it be before Wembley? There's a lot of moving parts that have still yet to be revealed to the public eye. So time will tell on Shane McMahon and where, if anywhere, he fits within the AEW landscape. I'm looking forward to it either way. I am a fan of Shane McMahon's. Personally, Mercedes, I saw Mercedes' question. Matt, I did give you the salute while I was given a spiel, but it's good to see you. Thank you, and I appreciate that, Matt. JJ says Mercedes on home of the world right now. She has creative control. And again, she has creative control as far as we're being told. I have not heard it said that she has Hogan level creative control in her contract. If I miss it, I miss it, and that's fine. Right? But I think, while I don't think Britt will be the first one to deal Mercedes a defeat, which I think she should personally, but I don't feel it's going to happen because it's too soon. At least the way they're building Mercedes now. I feel like Britt is going to be the one to, without going this deep into it and this sideways on it, is going to pull the Adam Page role as far as protecting AEW from the outsider. And the difference is Britt is a pillar and the people genuinely like her. And Britt, at least for my money, my opinion, has the ability to cut a promo like that without getting personally nasty and starting a dust-up of brawl out and brawl in levels. Because that's what happened, essentially. And that's why we had the situation with CM Punk leaving AEW. But time will tell. Again, we have a very interesting summer ahead of us. I will say that. Between the wrestling world, today, July 1st, is NHL free agency day, signing day. We're getting a lot of stuff thrown at us here all at once here. Another reason why Mikey didn't go on today, because it's NHL free agency day. So shit's going to be coming at us left and right. We will, as much as possible, have a full breakdown of all the moving and shaking within the NHL tomorrow on Statboy Sports Bar. It's always a fun day for us hockey fans when July 1st hits. I have said for the better part of 2 months that I would be very surprised if some folks in King's upper management would retain their jobs after the end of this day. It would appear that those people I mentioned to some of you in private, I should say, will maintain their positions within the King's hierarchy. But it's been a push to make sure they have their jobs intact, because man, it is it's rough. It really is. As far as WWE, I mean, this Sunday is NXT Heatwave. Saturday is Money in the Bank. So we've got a couple of major shows coming up. We're going to do watch-alongs. JJ would like to extend a personal thank you to all who super chatted during Open Mic Night and Forbidden Door. The donations pushed him over the threshold. So thank you for once again getting he and I paid this month. It is as ever appreciated. Definitely in my case, and even now in his case with his other job, these streams keep us moving. They keep helping to pay some part of the bills. But it is, as they say, what it is. And yes, unfortunately, JJ will be missing Heatwave due to his other role in life. But again, we'll have Money in the Bank coverage on Saturday and Heatwave on Sunday. We'll also be simply predicting Money in the Bank Saturday morning or afternoon, I should say, just prior, not just prior, but pretty close to just prior to the pay-per-view, the PLE. And then, of course, we'll be simply predicting Heatwave coming up Wednesday night after the Greg Cherry Show and after our coverage of AEW Dynamite Beach Break. So, stacked week. I have a suggestion, and I'm going to throw it out there to the multiverse, because, yes, I have my ideal play-by-play man, as ever, with Noah Foster, but I am curious how many of you would, want this particular show on a retro call for Flashback Friday. I'm not doing a show Thursday. It appears I'm going to the soccer game Thursday at the Rose Bowl, so I won't be in the studio Thursday night like I was possibly planning to be, or at least, somewhere here locally Thursday, so I will not be able to do a show. But Friday, I have an interesting proposal to make to all of you. So in the case of days where I have content gaps, I decided, okay, let's see if we can come up with some content, some original things or classic matches or whatever to look back on that took place on the day in question. Well, with the resurgence of TNA, with the reappearance of the two gentlemen I'm about to reference in TNA, as a matter of fact, I'm wondering how many of you would be down for a retro watch along this Friday. We'll pre-tape it beforehand. We'll throw it up there to live stream it with me kind of chiming in during, of the final deletion between Matt and Jeff Hardy from 2016. Would that be something you guys would be interested in watching? Noah call, possibly me on commentary, depending on who's available for commentary. Like we'll throw people the option, we'll give them the invite, whatever. But I'm curious, would this be a match, or I should say a cinematic segment, because this is really one of the early cinematic presentations in wrestling before that was an actual term used in the confines of wrestling. Would you guys want to see us here in the multiverse call the final deletion between the Hardys? Just something to think about. Before I go into the shills, I am going to muse about something that is solely selfish, solely unrelated to anything else that we're doing, except for the quote-unquote work part of it. Let me take the banner down real quick. You guys know, super chat if you want to, get interactive with on a big level. So I recently had my wonderful mom ask me to list things I have on my Christmas list, birthday list, wish list, however you wanted to phrase it. And I've had a few people actually ask me that within my friend circle and actually within my within the fandom. Like, what do you need, Jeff? What do you want? Super chats are one thing. But what do you need? So I basically divided up into three categories. Non-work wants, so stuff I want that has nothing to do with this whatsoever. Work wants, which would help enhance the presentation or get us to a place where we can provide more content, and then work needs. All right. So let's do this. Let me, first of all, put that up, and then I'll take the camera so that it's not so distracting behind me. There we go. Hi. So non-work wants, pretty straightforward. I miss going to Disneyland as regularly as I was. I'm not going to get to go that regularly because that's expensive to go as often as I was every day because I don't work there anymore. However, once a quarter would be delightful, and I have the different dates. March 1st, my birthday. May the 4th, of course, for Star Wars Day. July 17th, the park's birthday. And November 18th, Mickey Me's birthday. And that could be an annual thing, honestly. I'm good with that. Beginning in, I believe it's November, at the Pantages Theater here locally in Hollywood, Back to the Future the musical, followed by the return of Wicked, followed by the Southern West Coast premiere of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I would love to see the top and bottom play out in front of me, and I would love to go see Wicked again. That would be wonderful. Work wants. This is just kind of silly, but I like how it laid out. So I don't have a Meach's Musings shirt yet. I don't have one, and I would like to not have to buy it for myself. I will, but I'd rather not have to. And then as far as the hats, those are just something different to wear during the watch-alongs for those various companies. It's WWE. The WWE hat you'll find on ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. Just found that out recently. The TNA hat is on the TNA website, and the other three are over at the Pro Wrestling Tees and AEW stores. The WrestleMania stuff, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. We all know of the team's desire to attend WrestleMania week in Las Vegas coming up in mid-April next year, tickets, and a place to flop our tired ass bodies when we're done. Pretty straightforward, right? Work needs. I think it's been very clear to everybody how cruddy the presentation has been with the Chromebook I have now. That's not a knock on the people that bought it for me, or I think I actually bought it for myself. It's just Chromebooks are not what I need. I need a desktop computer with a decent green screen behind me, not tacked to the wall like some amateur, and a monitor to go with it. And I'd like a new laptop, if I'm being honest. I'm kind of sick of this one. So, yeah, anyway, those are what I would want / need if I was able to throw it out there to everybody. As far as Shane McMahon coming in as an executive, I don't know. I would like to think that as successful as he's been as a businessman, as an executive in different companies besides WWE, I don't know how Shane would feel about being an executive in a wrestling company outside of the company his family built. That might be weird for Shane. I don't know Shane. I've met him once. Damn. Hang on, guys. Sorry, the way the cough drop dissolved ended up getting sharp and it cut into my gums. Shit only happens to me. Anyway, I don't see Shane McMahon actively pursuing an executive role. I think it would be weird enough for him if he did agree to appear as a talent. I don't see him being that executive guy within AEW. I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't know Shane. Met him once. So we shall see. But it would be interesting, to say the very least, to see Shane McMahon as an AEW personality, be it as an executive, be it as a talent, be it as a on-air character, however you want to phrase it. It's interesting to think about the possibilities, right? So anyway, that's really it. I didn't want to get too wound up. I've honestly been coughing so much. Talking at length is very taxing. I'm still working on that part of my daily routine, as far as the exercise and the eating better and the self-care, because Lord knows, Dylan will verify this because he helped me, God bless him. At 41 years old today, I used one of those exfoliating face wash things for the first time, and it is an experience. My nose actually feels smooth for the first time since I was a preteen, I think. I actually feel like I have a clean face. I think it's a pretty cool deal to start taking better care of oneself. And we always have Noah encourage everybody out there to protect your mentality, cherish your families, and just, take care of yourselves and each other, as your experience tells us. But it really is true. It's you can't take care of others like some people want to if you can't take care of yourself. And with whatever the future holds for me, with all of the concussions and the traumas and everything, I want to be able to take care of myself for as long as I can. That way I don't become a burden to others when I'm no longer able to do that. The last thing I want is to become a burden to my loved ones. And part of that is taking care of myself now. And yeah, I'm playing catch-up ball. There's no way around that. But better to start than to continue to not start at all, right? All right, I got a little deeper than I wanted to, but that's okay. As I said, you'll catch Stat Boy tomorrow here on the Jeff Meacham Network and the Costian Studios. That's tomorrow. That will be in this time slot, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, as will the Greg Cherry Show on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. followed immediately by our coverage of AEW Dynamite Beach Break, which will then be followed almost immediately by NXT Heatwave, Simply Predicting from the Simple Man brand, the Casa, and the Jeff Meacham Network. Friday, if you guys want to see it happen, I will have a retro watch along of the Final Deletion from the Hardy family. But again, that's your guys' call. You want to see it? Great. If not, great too. Saturday, we will have our coverage of Money in the Bank after we simply predict Money in the Bank at noon Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. And then, of course, open mic night as per usual on Saturday night. And then we'll round out the weekend with NXT Heatwave, July 7th again. All the PLEs, it looks like, are going to be starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific for our coverage, unless they're like in Japan or, somewhere around the world that we don't need to start that late. So that's the plan going forward. Thank you all very much for listening to me muse about whatever was on my crazy brain. We will see you guys tomorrow for Stat Boy Sports Bar and throughout the rest of this week, right here across the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.